setting up the meeting for YouTube, done redirecting, and I will share this link, copy this link, and paste it in our group. Setting up the meeting for YouTube, done redirecting, and all right, everyone, copy this link and all right, great. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Whoever have joined, and few people you will be joining soon. So today we will talk about a coaching area in Agile coaching areas where we'll talk about the mentorships and where we'll try to understand the purpose of Agile coaching and coach an individual versus the entire team. How do you begin coaching? How do you have a good dialogues? And how do you coach project managers and project owners? This coaching terms nowadays is actually many people are talking about, and there are many times question comes up in different forum that what exactly the difference between mentorships. Now, coaching is a very big umbrella when we talk about coaching, and if the question comes up how it is different than Scrum Master, we'll talk about that later, but let's focus into the coaching side. So as a coach, there are many different hats. As a coach, you may need to work as a mentor, you may need to work as a counselor or coach or change agent, consultant, facilitator, leader, or teacher. There are many different hats a coach have. What we will try to understand as a mentor, what will be the key areas that you should focus on. Now think about for a moment that are we truly acting as an Agile coach or are we just claiming to be? There are many people in the industry, you might have heard that they are claiming them we are Agile coach. And why they are saying so, they have acted as a Scrum Master for 4 or 5 days and they think, okay, in the industry, if we want to grow, we need to change somewhere in our title. And they started saying at Agile coach. They are not right or wrong, but we'll try to understand that if you are claiming so, are we behaving certain areas in the coach type of behaviors? So that is what we'll try to do. Are we able to unlock everyone's potential to enhance the collective performance of the team? That's the key goal of that. Now, when we're talking about coaching, coach and mentoring, two areas I'm talking about. So what's the key difference of coaching and mentoring? Coaching talks about through coaching, whenever you are doing a coaching, through coaching, the coachee or the participants or whom you are coaching, the team members, is enabled to gain a new outlook and envision potential avenues for their professional and personal development, allowing them to make actions and progress. Through a series of steps coached by you and chosen by the team, you can help improve their performance. Now, when I'm talking about mentoring, this is as a as a mentor, what you will be doing, you should share your knowledge and experience of utilizing Agile and guide them in how to best use it. You will share your Agile knowledge and expertise with the team as it is pertinent to their current situation, whatever is relevant to their current situation. So now we talk about coaching is primarily you are trying to change the way they should behave or change the way they should respect others, change the way they should communicate and all those areas, a behavioral part. When I'm talking about mentors, there you are talking about the Agile areas, the practices, how they can apply the values and principles, how they will be, what they will be doing in the different events. Those areas will be coming into mentorships, that how they will be acting or what they will be doing as a part of Agile practitioners or Agile team member. Now, both does not go separately, though each of them have a value. But once you combine them, that's bring up the winning combinations. And if you combine them and apply them together, you will be able to adopt Agile and utilizing it to more effectively. So using both coaching and mentoring, this is incredible benefit that brings up that benefits and can be effective separately if you are doing it separately. But when you combine them, they create a powerful alliance that aids individuals in successfully utilizing Agile approaches. The context of Agile that we talked about that encourage mentorships, while the focus on the team performance that necessitates coaching. So now remember, the context of Agile approach Scrum, Kanban, events, ceremonies, backlog, artifacts, those are all be matured up through mentoring. But when you are focusing on the team performance as a team, that needs a coaching area, right? So coaching, focus on the team performance, mentorships, where we'll be bringing up the agile, through mentoring, we'll be bringing up the agile context. Now, when you work as a coach, most of the time we use a common term as coach. Coach is actually coaching and mentoring both. It's not like coaching means only coaching. When you are acting as a coach, it has to be a combination of coach and mentor. And Agile, this coach role, that encompasses both coaching the behavior or bringing up their behaviors and mentoring them how to use those Agile approaches. And with these two, they often being combined under one umbrella. In coaching umbrella, there may be many other areas like as a consultant, as a facilitator. We'll talk about that later. So this is the key area that we are talking about, the performance areas and agile context area. As a coach, you need to work on. Now, what is your scope? Whom you will be coaching? If you are working as a coach within an organization, who will be your target that you will be coaching for? So there are three areas that you can coach: as a team, as a person, as an organization. So team means you will be encourage the team to work together to achieve a healthier practice or to overcome an unhealthy situation. Person means that assist each individual in making the next move in their voyage so they can become more skilled agilist and contribute in a fashion that boosts the team's development and their personal growth. And coach is not only just the team and the team members. As a coach, you have a huge responsibility to bring up the agility, not only the practices, the behavior, the communications, how we respect each other and all those areas for the organization as well. That achieve incredible result that will have a significant impact on the business and team members alike for the organization. So as an agile coach, you promote the effective utilizations of agile approaches to enable business to reach their objectives more quickly and effectively. Now, for this particular session, we'll keep the organizations aside. We'll talk more about in the teams and person sides. So what will be your key role? If we keep the organizations aside, you will be more involved within your team as a team or the individuals. You may have multiple teams. Now, there are few areas that you can think about. These are just example. You don't need to think about these are the only area. There can be many different areas. As a coach, you can facilitating daily stand-up meetings or helping the team identify and resolve any obstacles they are facing, or assisting with sprint planning and retrospective, or providing training and coaching on agile principles and practices, supporting the team in its effort to continuously improve its process, or observing the team's dynamics and providing feedback to individuals, team members on how they can improve their performance. Now, many of you thinking, okay, these are the Scrum Master's job. Yes, definitely. Scrum Master is also a coach. Sometimes Scrum Master responsibility is not only for the team, they are also equally responsible for the whole organizations. Now, in many organizations, the terms coach comes up as a different organizations, they call it. But as if you are a Scrum Master, you can be perform all these coaching behaviors because you are also a coach. Now, we will be going little details about as a coach, when a team, let's talk about one sprint. When a sprint starts, and sometimes after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the sprint will end. How your involvement will be there throughout the sprint. So when you are working on that, there are two areas that we will be involving. Sometimes you'll be coaching the team, sometimes you'll be coaching as an individuals. Now, if you look into this amber color line where you are giving coaching to the team as a whole, and the blue color is an individuals. So what we have observed over here, that when we are starting the coaching at the beginning of a sprint, we are more focusing towards the as a whole team. Now, once we start our sprint, maybe we reach mid of the sprint, our coaching is actually increase for the individuals team members and reduce for the team. And again, that's change at the end. So as a coach, what you will be doing, you may be thinking about that agile coaches at the beginning, you will provide guidance and support to the entire team during sprint planning, or helping them to improve their collaborative skills and achieve more as a group by creating abundance. And this includes supporting the team in making shared commitments and working together effectively. That's happened at the beginning for a team level, right? Now, again, once you move to the mid of this, you may able to see the individual team members may be approaching, maybe issues or concerns on this coach to guidance as an assistance. You will be facing more individuals members are coming up over here. Now, if you reach towards the end for the team, the whole team coaching takes a prominent role during the retrospective, particularly when the team is learning from one another to continuously improve their process. Now, if I look into how we are involving as individuals, so when we start your sprint, during the sprint start, individual coaching may take a secondary role as a team members focus on completing their work at hand. The moment you start your sprint, you go a little ahead, maybe 3 days or 4 days later, you see that individual team members may bring issues or concern to the coach for guidance and assistance. This is the time where the team member actually faces problem as an individual, not as a team. And you as a coach, you need to take care of that. And you as a coach, you will provide guidance to individual team members to help them improve their skills as an agilist, and offer them tools to resolve their own problems independently. Once you reach towards ends, the team level again slows down. The team level or individual level slows down, team levels goes up. And these individual coachings may slow down, but if appropriate, the coach address the concerns of the individual team members at the team level during the retrospective meeting. So if I want to summarize what we have just talked, coaching at the beginning and end of the sprint, or even if you are releasing, you have a release plan, that helps the coach to identify where we should be interrupting the team, where we should leave the team so that they can focus on their goal. So as you can see, in the middle of the sprint, agile coaches may take a step back and carefully consider before bringing a major conversations or improvement opportunities to the whole team. And as the team is already focused on completing the sprint's objectives, and too much disruption may slow them down. So as a coach, you should not be intervened too much when the team is progressing. So instead, at the mid of the sprint, the coach may address the issues with smaller groups or individual members and wait for the retrospective to bring it up with the whole team. And throughout the sprint cycle, the agile coaches act as a support system for the team. They help the whole team overcome any challenges they may face, reminding them of their goals and objectives and advocating to them to uphold the principles and values they have agreed upon as a team. The coach also encourages team members to work together effectively and maintain a positive and productive work environment. They act like a ground crew, making sure the team is on track and troubleshoot the issues and help them to stay focused on the end goal they have. So let's elaborate this particular slide in little more details. Let's see that we have multiple sprints. Every release, we have 2 release plan, and every release we have sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, 3 sprints are there. And as you can see, these yellow lines, that's the start of the sprint. The green boxes, that's just denotes the end of the sprint. The black one when the release start, the gray one when the release end. And there are some green dotted line that you can see right over here. This is where it talks about when the individual problems arises. So as a coach, how you are involved? You will be observing everything that during all the sprints are going on. As a coach, you will helping the team get agile practices, demonstrate and simplify or demonstrate the simplicity and effectiveness of using agile practices. You may design a training program to educate and reinforce the team's understanding and application of agile practices that are currently necessary for the team as a mentor. Now let's talk about at the beginning, when you have started on, you will start thinking about, okay, let's design a training program to teach the team how to effectively use velocity metrics to plan sprints while maintaining focus on their goals. Now, talking with the team about a velocity matrix, it does not have a big bang training approach. It may take 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That you can definitely plan at the beginning of your sprint. Plan to deliver the training, maybe reserve 15 minutes on the velocity matrix during the team sprint planning sessions to maximize its effectiveness. Now, this is velocity matrix is just an example. There can be many different areas. If you are an experienced Scrum Master, or if you understand how Scrum works as a mentor, you can find out what are the areas the teams are lagging based on the previous retrospections that you have done, and find out, okay, at the beginning will be the right time, because that time they will be able to apply it effectively. And that is where they will be coaching at the beginning to talk about that. At every sprint beginning, they find out what I can put 10 minutes or 15 minutes as a coaching. But there are some other areas where you may need a little bigger training. Maybe you are talking about, okay, understand Agile framework, or understand Scrum, or understand what is story point is. You cannot plan that at the time of that time box sprint planning. So we always plan that before we start our maybe release, or before we start our all the releases. That's a very beginning, we call that. You can design a training program to introduce the team to choose Agile framework, including the team dynamics, project visions, and upcoming work. So at the beginning of the sprint, if I summarize as a coach how you will be involving, these are the key areas. There are a few key things you can do to help the team adopt Agile practices. This is not the only list. There can be many more. Those are few examples I am just mentioning. Communicate the benefits of Agile. Make sure everyone on the team understand why Agile practices are valuable, such as improve your communication, faster delivery of working software, and increase flexibility. Lead by example. That's a very common term in the industry nowadays. Show the team how to work in Agile way by following the principles and practices yourself as a coach. Start small. Don't want to go for a big bang changes overnight. Start small. Implement Agile practices incrementally, starting with the most basic element and building up as the team becomes more comfortable. Provide training and resources. Make sure the team has access to the information and resources they need to understand and implement Agile practices. Encourage collaborations and communication. So Agile practices rely on strong collaborations and communication. So make sure that everyone is encouraged to participate and contribute their ideas. You need to be flexible. So Agile is a mindset and a way of working, not a perspective set of rules. So be open to adapting your approach as the team needs change. Measure progress. So track the team progress and use metrics to identify areas of improvement and celebrate the success. And have patience. Adopting new ways of working can take time. Conversation. So for example, you bring up that burn down chart and you talk about, okay, this spike has happened. Why this spike is happening? So during this mid of the sprint, coaching at the team level should be scaled back and focus on the most impactful insight. Encourage some lightweight conversations between team members, as the mid-sprint check is to generate new ideas and finish remaining work. So as an Agile coach, protecting the team's focus by allowing them to work independently is important. And mid-sprint is an ideal time for individual coaching, as the team members may have more specific issues to address. So individual levels problems may arise at the mid, and you resolve them. And we'll talk about that, what's happened once we come into a communications, how you can bring that up. So in summarize, mid-sprint coaching, first thing, do not disturb the teamwork as a coach. You may address some personal issues. Sometimes it's possible that 2 or 3 people have the same common issue. So in that case, you need to promote a self-reliance and empower the team to solve problems on their own. And if an issue arises that is not a showstopper, advise the team to bring it up for the discussion during the retrospective meeting at the end of the sprint. Also, you need to observe the team behavior, recognize positive actions, reinforce them to encourage their communication. Make sure whenever you are appreciating in front of everyone. It does not has to be a very jazzy meeting, or you don't need to celebrate in that way. Take it very casual, appreciate others so that others can also appreciate the team members if you think they have done something very well, so that other can also get motivated from that discussion. So this mid-sprint, this is an opportunity time to recognize and reinforce competent team behaviors that occur spontaneously. If a team member does something particularly helpful for the others, you can have a casual conversation with that member in front of rest of the team. And this will help reinforce the positive behavior and make sure it is not overlooked. And once you'll come to the end, you will be most looking at facilitate a team discussion on ways to improve their effectiveness during the next sprint, with a focus on actions beyond creating action items. So at the end of the sprint, this is your best time for the final coaching intervention for that sprint. And as it is natural moment for the team to reflect on how they work together and plan improvements for the next sprint, and utilize these retrospective meetings to facilitate this process. And finally, at the same time, your coaching will be continue at the release level as well. Where you are coaching at the release level, you will be doing a combinations of whole team coaching, and you will be doing an individual coaching as well. So implement training at the start of release cycle and conduct a retrospective at the end of release cycle to review the team from the process. Are we applying the learning that we have gone through? Are we stabilizing the velocity? Are we improving our reliability to commitment? How is our release burn down looks like? Why it looks like that? So those are the different discussions points you will be bringing it up. So at the time of sprint ending, primarily encourage the team to learn from each other through coaching and mentorships. You need to coach the whole team. Since the end of one sprint and beginning of the next sprint occurs very quickly, you combine the coaching intervention for both events as a cohesive activity, that you are ending it here, then we are bringing it here, bringing the next sprint up. So we will be combining them together. So this is how our coaching is different than others. Means coaching and normally just acting as a scrum master and asking them run your sprint planning and execute that. You need to understand that how you should bring your intervention up and down to the team and individuals. So before we go into the next slide, let me know if anyone have any questions, and if Hasti, you are there, let me know if there is any chats, questions came in YouTube. All right, I am not able to hear from Hasti, so I will quickly check in YouTube if there is any chat.
I am so sorry, there was some issue with the mic. It was not unmuting, but there is no comments as for now in the YouTube, and even in Zoom chat there is no such message.
All right,
I'm
great.
so sorry for the delay.
No problem. So I will be moving ahead, and we'll talk about few areas like what will be your tone of coaching. You should be very restricted or very strict, or you should be following a little friendliness with the team. So we need to follow these three areas: love, compassion, and commitment to excellence. So love means embrace each team members to their humanity and show them the acceptance. This will make them feel supported in their growth and development as a person, as a team member. Now, at the first glance, when you look into love, compassion, and commitment, this seems like does not go together, but they can coexist in a successful approach if you approach that. Now, when we talk about love, the key to building a strong and cohesive team is to treat each person with love and acceptance. Recognize what we are all, that we are all human beings and have our own unique strength and weakness. So by providing a supportive environment where individuals feel accepted and valued for who they are, They are more likely to strive to become better versions of themselves, both as individuals and as a team member. And this mindset of love and acceptance can foster a culture of trust, open communication, and collaboration within the team, leading to a better outcomes for the organizations. Now, also need to remember that when we talk about love, don't need to go too much lovey-dovey with the team. You will be just showing them that you valued them, you respect their opinion. Similarly, compassion is one of the area that each team member's journey is very important, acknowledging and representing their current progress, while also providing support and guidance to help them achieve their goals and aspirations. So by understanding and kind towards others, so you need to understand everyone's need, what their pain areas, what they expect, what they are talking about, what they mean, what they talked about. And they will be more willing to be honest and open with you. This will help the coach process to be more effective. Show empathy and respect to where they are in their journey, while also helping them to achieve their goals. When they feel that you care about them, they will be more likely to be authentic and open with you, making the coaching process more productive. And finally, we have commitment to excellence. So be decisive and make a firm stance in order to achieve greater flexibility and adaptability in all areas. I know that if I just go for love and compassion, that will not work. I need to be strict somewhere. So show your dedications to achieving excellence and inspire others to do the same. You believe in their potential and encourage them to strive for the best in their personal and professional growth. So coaching is not about flattering them, but rather helping them to reach their full potential and make their work meaningful in the context of the overall life. So as a coach, you need to be strict on the process or the ideas that you define. The team should behave like this, team should work like that. And if you have the love and compassion, it will be very easy to apply the commitment that you have. There is a question comes up that should we bring up love? Yes. Should we bring up compassion as a coaching? Yes. How about commitment? 100%. That whatever the commitment is not that what you are committing at the sprint level. Commitment is commitment towards adopting Agile or work within this Agile environment. Now, think about these terms. Friends accept and love you for who you are, while a coach helps you to become the best version of yourself. So when coach loves you, it's not because who you are. Coach loves you to improve yourself based on what your potential is. They think about your future. They believe in you and help you to reach your full potential without changing who you are in the fundamental. They don't want to change from a fundamentals area, but they will help you so that you can achieve the best within your potential. Now, when we are talking about coaching, let's quickly talk about as a coach, it's not the team members, the developer, tester, and the scrum masters. Within organizations, there are many different roles where you will be doing the coaching. One area, one-on-one coaching, that may be your team member, that may be any other roles within your organizations. You particularly coaching product owners, you may need to follow some different practices and think about what product owners may be looking for. Well, some point of time, you are collaborating with all the other coaches and you are coaching other coaches as well, if it is required. There are agile managers within your organization, so we need to coach them as well. So for today's these sessions, we will primarily talk about one-on-one coaching, and rest of them maybe we'll be covering in some other webinar. So let's go inside this one-on-one coaching. What is one-on-one coaching? You will be connecting with the individuals. You as a coach, you will initiate a conversation about something you observe that taking place. And sometimes the team member comes to you with a problem. In both the cases, a conversation needs to happen. Now, when you are having these conversations to coach someone or to address some concerns, you need to look for 4 different aspects. These are: be one step ahead of them during the meeting, ensure safety, collaborate with manager, and establish a positive attitude. So this is a fundamental principles. When we talk about be one step ahead, as a coach, we first recognize where our coaches are currently at. And then we guide them to take a step forward by providing them with agile tools such as practices, principles, values, or mindsets. And as we are already proficient in agile, we are able to guide them by being just a step ahead of them on the agile journey. A fundamental principle, this is in professional coaching, is that we should understand and acknowledge the current state of your coach's client, whoever you are coaching, rather than imposing our own expectations or beliefs about where they should be or where they have the potential to be. Because you cannot bring them, if I am here, I need to reach there, I will be going step by step. I cannot just move it directly. I cannot jump into what my coaches is expecting if I am a coachee. So the principle of meeting coaches' expectation, you first need to identify where they are. And is important for agile coaching, but it's modified to meet them just a step ahead. You need to be there. So if you see they are here, they need to reach here. So one step ahead, you first need to be send yourself to that place and visualize what is happening there so that you can make a smooth transitions to them to the next steps. That is what one of the important area. And when you are sending them, you are not sending them 10 steps ahead, you are just sending 1 step ahead. This is because coaches already have the knowledge. All the coaches, they already have that experience. They already have that knowledge. They have that agile tools, practices, principles, and mindsets. And coaches should listen to their clients to understand their beliefs, what their struggles are, their current understanding of agile, and then imagine them on this agile journey path, that what will be their next step. Coach them to bring that next step, bring them to the end result step by step towards the goal. Don't ask them to make a big jump or fly. It's important to remember that coaching is not just about work, but also about personhood and values. It's also important to be flexible and adapt coaching approaches as per the client's need. Now, if I talk about ensure safety, what is that? When you are coaching individuals and teams, it is important to create a safe and confidential environment for them. This can be achieved by clearly stating that what is discussed between coach and the client or the coachee and what happens within the team will be kept confidential. And it is important to adhere to this principle to ensure that the individuals and teams, they feel comfortable and open to share their thoughts and experience. So as an agile coach, it is important to create such an environment that allows for experimentation and risk-taking, as this will lead to brilliance. The team members needs to know what the coach will keep and what happens if the team room is not confidential. So if some of the coaches, they make mistakes and fear of the performance reviews process, that may be a possibility is that, okay, they are not opening up because if my coach mentioned that to my managers, that may create a problem with my performance review. So however, the coach should not ignore those common sense and should not break the confidentiality in common area. But there are possibilities where the situation like harassment or discriminations happen. In that case, as a coach, you will not be keep silent. The coach should prioritize those physical and emotional safety above the team's license to make mistake. But there is any this kind of discriminations happen, some harassment happens, you definitely bring it up to the coaches. Confidentiality is good for them, but there is a subtle threshold. And you need to identify, okay, this is going beyond the threshold. So as a coach, you should report any harassment or discrimination. The coach should guide the team to work together to resolve problems with the team and recognize when they need help from outside. And this will help the team to become more self-reliant and self-correcting over time. Number 3, when you are having one-on-one coachings, you always collaborate with the manager. Now, many people think, okay, in Agile, there is no role of manager. But if you think that we are running an organizations over there, a manager's presence is very important. Because to running an organization, your organization is not just a Scrum team. Managers are responsible for many different areas. For example, they are going for appraisal, they are going for hiring, firing, budgeting, costing, the resource management, everything they need to take care of. And they also responsible for organizational compliance, sometimes to the government, sometimes to your clients. So there are key responsibilities of managers is there, even if you are working on an Agile organization. So as an Agile coach, it is important to maintain confidentiality and safety within the team, and to make sure that the team members have the space to be human. They always make mistakes. Not always, but they definitely make mistakes because we are a human being. So in order to help each team members, so make each team member, they reach their full potential, it is necessary to partner with their managers and understand their performance expectations, how they may be impacting the team. So the partnership should be guided by the intention to help the team member succeed and should not compromise the team's confidentiality and safety. That agreement you make with the manager, you get a buy-in from the managers that this is what we are doing. Some point of time, your manager should not be surprised why this team is doing so. It is important to coach the manager in order to address any issues that may be blocking teamwork and hindering the team's ability to fully embrace the Agile principles. So your job, another job, is to make your manager understand, coach them in that way. The coach should educate the manager about Agile, if necessary, and let the manager know when intense coaching is needed for the team members. The coach should also make it clear that they will not violate what happens in the team, stays in the team. All right. The next one, establish a positive attitude. I believe everyone you understand that. Establish a positive attitude is always important. A key to successful coaching is to approach it with a positive mindset and to view the persons being coached as a human being with hopes, dreams, and desire. This helps to foster a sense of love and compassion towards the coachee. So, which are essential ingredients for your effective coaching. Even if you dislike the person or their action, it is important to change your perspective and coaching them with the compassion. So the main point of this particular area that we are talking about is, as an Agile coach, it is important to approach coaching with a positive attitude. Even if you dislike some person you are coaching, this means you are not coaching a person, you are coaching a human being. And don't show that, okay, I am giving special attention to this person because I am liking it. You need to have a positive attitude to everyone, whatever the way they are behaving. So viewing them as a human being with hopes, dreams, and desire, rather than as a problem to solve. So the coach should approach the person with the love and compassion and be uncompromising in their knowledge of what it means to be good Agile team members. Now, when you go one-on-one coaching, we'll go one level deeper under that. So for one-on-one coaching, starting a coaching conversations is very important because the conversation is very important. That can be difficult for both coach and coachee, especially for a new coach who is not used to address personal issues. So the coachee also be uncomfortable with having a real conversation in the workplace. So there are two ways you can initiate a conversation. You first observe something, or you make invitations by giving an actions. So let's look into this. What is observation? Perspective. It appears to me, for example, as a coach, you mentioned it appears to me that you are showing sign of frustrations during the stand-up meeting today. Can you confirm if my perception was right? So you are just observing and mentioning, okay, this is my observation. Correct me if I am right or wrong. Where your invitation is, you are directly coming into the conclusion of your observation. This is about the detail with the information on what occurred during the daily stand-up. I found something is not well. what happened. So these are observations. So let's look into few example of observation. What could be example of observation? I have noticed that you have been preoccupied and not fully present in the conversation recently. It appeared as though your mind is elsewhere. You can share what might be causing this distraction. Or it seems that there is a lot of tension and disagreement present at the moment. Can you share your perspective on the situation? It appears that something is troubling you as you are not displaying your typical positive attitude. Can you share what is causing this change in your demeanor? Now, invitations, when we talk about invitation, few example. Can you identify the specific distractions that have been affecting us recently? So over here, you are not just talking about that I am observing and let me know what is happening. You observed and finalized, that's not correct. Also, another example, can you describe the atmosphere and dynamics of the team's conversation during the morning's meeting? I found there is something not well. Instead of speculating about the reason behind any potential issue you may be facing, I want to remind you that I am here to support you and listen to you in this situation. So starting a coaching conversation, that is always challenging if you are new in the coaching journey, but it becomes easier when the coachee initiates. When it happens, it's important to relax and go with the flow of the conversation. So as you begin, it's useful to remind yourself to focus on 4 key elements that we talked about in the previous slide. You're looking where the coachees are, and you should be one step ahead. Create the safety, creating a safe space for a real conversation. Get the support from your managers or that team's manager, and approaching the conversation with a positive and compassionate attitude. Once you observe that, either observation or invitations, you will start the conversation. And once you have started the conversation, you don't expect they will be answering it immediately, and don't force them. So be silent, wait for the response. So when coaching a team, it's important to have open and informal one-on-one conversation with the team members to understand where they are in the agile journey and help them take to the next step. And this can be done by asking questions. What can I do to help you take to the next step in your use of agile? And when you are waiting, that is actually a very matured coaching practice, that you are giving them space to think, you are giving them space to answer. So be patient and allow the coaches ample of time to speak and express themselves. They may open up and share more information as the conversation progresses. Now, we'll be going little more details about this conversation. When we are going into the conversation, how you start a conversation and how you go to the mid of the conversation and how you conclude a conversation in a one-on-one coaching. So we'll look into something. This is called your conversation arc. There are multiple different areas. So if I want to make you understand from this particular diagram, at the center, we have coach, and there are different behavior. The coaches are from the both sides. And this entire diagram is divided into 3 parts. This is when the conversation begins, when the conversation ends, and you are at the mid of the conversation. So at the beginning, what happened? You are observing the team, and sometimes the team members or the teams, they are expressing about that conversation. So that is happening at the start of the coaching conversation, whether initiated by the coach or by coachee. The process is similar. The coachee may need to express their thoughts and feelings, and it is important for the coach to actively listen and to be fully present during this stage. After that, you will reach to the next steps where expressing or discussing the subject at hand, whatever the problems they have. And this is where the communication starts from the coach. So expressing or communicating the topic of challenges that you are about to have the conversation on. And that is what in agile practice is more important, that you express, you communicate. So as the conversation progresses, whatever the underlying reasons for the coach sessions may become clearer. And the coach should check in with the coachee to understand the topic and its relevance. And the coach may also use principles and practices of Agile, such as recalling relevant Agile values, practices, or roles to help address the topics. Additionally, the coach may help the coachee recall a personal goal or action related to the topics that has been previously discussed. Now, once you reach towards middle, over there, they are about to move out from that obstacles, right? So this is made of that. And how they will be doing that, the coach will be asking powerful questions. So as a coach, your job is not to give the solution, but asking powerful questions so that they can find their solution itself. This is where you will be guiding through thought-provoking inquiries and envisioning that particular topics more further, rather than solely focusing on resolving issues or solving their problem. So as the conversation progresses, you reach somewhere in the mid of the conversation, and the coach, they will use powerful questions to guide the coachee towards introspection. This allows the coachee to move past the feelings of being stuck on that particular topic and start to see the potential solutions. So the coach may also use visualization techniques, such as taking the coachee on an imaginary future where the topic is already resolved. And to help the coachee, you see their own solution. You help the coachee, they can find out their own solution. You help the coachee to see their own solution. And this leads to a turning point in the conversation where the coachee may see new ways to address the topics. You will be identifying internal barriers or simply feel a sense of relief from sharing something that has been troubling them. After that, whatever the powerful questions that you have asked, the whomever you are communicating with, they got somewhere the idea and they will start doing the brainstorming. During the brainstorming, you continuously help them and you need to make them engaged to brainstorm and find a solution. That is very important when you are having a conversation. So as the conversation progresses, the coachee begins to explore specific solutions to the topic at the end. So the coach and coachee may brainstorm together, with the coach that encouraging and supporting the process. The coach should give the coachee freedom to generate creative and unconventional ideas. And the coach also needs to be open-minded, not limited the conversations to the problem solving. Instead, the coach should focus on helping the coachee generate ideas and possible actions, while the coach may offer solution options that, okay, these are the other solutions also you may have. You may want to explore those areas as well. It is important to keep in mind that the coachee's chosen solution should be freely chosen by the coachee for it to be meaningful. You should not be imposing, okay, you go with this solution. Let the coachee find out, let them visualize. Now, after that, you need to conclude your conversations where the actions and the coachee will be identifying different actions that they will be doing. And you also support on creating and make them take the accountability and acknowledge them. So at the end, when the coachees, they are creating actions, as the conversation that reach near the end, the coachee begins to identify specific actions to take in response to the topic. And it is important to let the conversation end at this point rather than introducing new topics. And this allows the coachee to focus on and move forward with the actions they have decided on. And if another topic arises, it can be addressed in future coaching or future coaching session. It is important to respect the coach's decisions and give them the space to take action on what has been discussed during this session. And you should also support them. After the coachee has chosen the actions to take, the coach support them by creating accountability for that actions. And this can be done through an explicit agreement or more suitable soft approaches. So when we talk about explicit agreement that include a specific time frame for when the actions will be compared and how the coachee will update the coach on their progress. So it is important to remember that the coach's role is to support the coachee, not to make them take action, right? So therefore, the coachee should not be pressurized to make them an explicit agreement that you will have to complete it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. If they are not comfortable, don't go with that. If you think they are comfortable, okay, let's find out some explicit timeline. A soft approach could be the coach always asking is a better approach. If they can check, you can ask that, okay, can I check with you after 2 weeks that how we are 2 weeks, how we are progressing, or 2 days, how we are progressing. That's how you will be supporting them, and they should know that someone is behind me. If I fail, I will get the support. That kind of conversations that you might have made. And finally, you will acknowledge, okay, the conversation is come up, they take the action items. So an acknowledgement is a way for the coach to recognize and validate the coach's effort or strengths and progress during the coaching conversation. And it helps to boost the coach's confidence and motivations to move forward with the chosen action. Now, the coachee should avoid using the phrases like thank you. Why? That might take the coach seem superior and undermine that I am managing you or I am a superior, you done my job, thank you. No, I don't want to give you a thank you. I don't want to show as a coachee I have extra power. Instead, the coach should focus on recognize the coachee for who they are and the qualities they have demonstrated during the conversation. You can thank you for taking time and talking with us and giving me value to have a conversation with me in this way. Not say thank you because you identify an action item. So in summarize the coaching process with a focus on the importance of acknowledging the coachee for who they are, begin in the present moment rather than thanking them for their actions. And the coach's role is to support and encourage the coachee in finding their own solutions rather than providing solutions themselves and setting them up and an accountability for the chosen actions. It's very important to remember that coaching is a partnership and that the coach should not try to make control or command that coaches or the members. That's what we will be concluding it over here. We will be continuing it in the next session where we'll talk about how you can coach a subject matter experts, how you can coach from a distance, from a distributed way, what is the limit of a coach, or coaching product owners, coaching other agile coaches, or coaching agile managers. That will be our next topics. If anyone have any questions, you can talk about. Is there any questions from YouTube?
No, as for now, there has been no questions. I think everything has been cleared.
All right, great then. I think it was nice connecting with you. If anyone have any questions, feel free to drop me an email or type a questions in the comment of that live video in YouTube. Whenever we'll get a time, we will try to respond that back. Thanks everyone for joining, and we will stop the webinar now. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.